Hello again. There's less than 4 weeks to go before the 60th anniversary of the founding of New China on October the 1st. To mark the occasion, CCTV International presents a month-long special series on today's China entitled China on the Move. And today, we will bring you to the eastern city of Suzhou, famous for its traditional urban design and leisurely lifestyle. And that's why it's got the name the city in heaven. And now Suzhou is gaining fame for its rapid modernization as well. But how can it balance urban development and cultural protection? Xu Zhaoqun explains.
Madame Wang Jiawei is a fan of Pingtan. For hours, she sits on hard wooden chairs, never complaining, as she appreciates traditional performing arts that combine storytelling and balance in the Suzhou dialect. Every theatre is subsidized by the local government, so the elderly don't need to worry about the entrance fee. Beside Pingtan, 84-year-old Wang spends most days looking after her peony, which is twice as old as her. Madame Wang and her family live in a house that was handed down from her grandfather. One of the reasons the house still remains is because the peony is included on the protection list of the municipal government.
It blossoms in the spring, dozens of flowers. Some are as big as a bowl.
Madame Wang's grandson also brings her pride. He's an electrical engineer working at the Suzhou Industrial Park, about 20 kilometers east of the old town. Working for a Finnish company, Henry stays in an environment totally different from his grandmother. Over the past 15 years, nearly $40 billion from outside China have been invested here. The SIP creates 500,000 jobs and contributes 16% to the city's GDP.
While the urban function in the park is improving, the service industry for both the manufacturing and basic living is also booming. It will be more convenient for the people working and living here.
My new apartment is, but now I don't live here. I still live in my old house. And sometime later, when I will marry, I will live there.
Suzhou is a city with a history of more than 2,500 years. It ranks number 5 in the country's GDP list by cities. In terms of city scale, Suzhou is much smaller than many others, ranking much lower. It's obviously difficult to balance heritage protection and urban modernization in such a place. But it seems reasonable zoning in the urban area is effective in keeping the balance.
Suzhou expanded from a small town of 30 square kilometers in the 1980s to a big city that is currently 200 square kilometers. But the ancient town is always the core of protection. It is not placed together with the new parts of the city. It's also a hard job to balance the citizen's basic needs and heritage protection. Wires, cables and pipelines are buried under the cobblestone roads. They live in old houses but live modern lives.
Having a cup of tea along the riverside, hearing Pingtan from the loudspeakers on the wall, we might forget this is an industrial city. Madame Wang forgets by humming an episode of Pingtan to her daughter every now and then. Xu Zhaoqun, CCTV, Suzhou. Traveling around the eastern provinces, I can clearly see the energy everywhere. Talking to the people here, I can clearly feel their confidence. This is based not only on the natural and regional advantages in these places, but also on the policies that releases human potential to try things never done before. The economic boom in the East has been laying a solid foundation for the country's prosperity, but it also has to face all the risks of a pioneer in the reform and opening up. 60 years ago, the forefathers
of the People's Republic set up a new country without any experience or any examples to follow. Some 30 years ago, Mr. Deng Xiaoping said that the reform should be a process like crossing a river by feeling the stones. Today, in the era of globalization, we have to say that the people here are still feeling the stones ahead, but they have marked the stones behind them and are breaking a new path for the country's development.